Okay, so I spent all day yesterday working on this lighting problem in my video game. And originally, I set this up a while ago. I had for nighttime in my game, I had just a grid of black spots all over the screen. And they would black everything out. And anywhere light was overlapping them, and light was just this invisible stuff, like pretend my hand was light. You wouldn't see it. But anywhere it was touching the black dots would become clear, or disappear, become invisible, and when it moved away, the black dot would come back. So as the light sources moved around, black dots would come in and out. And that was okay. It did take a bit of processing power to make black spots pop in and out, and it also, it made the lighting just like a grid of light. So I couldn't have real detailed lighting. Whereas in like in real life, you see what the shape of where the light is perfectly, and that's much better. But I was messing around with the light yesterday, and I kept getting this error where anytime some light source was touching a black spot up here, it would like affect all of them and make them all disappear. And then as soon as it was gone, it would all go back to normal. But that was a terrible error. I can't leave that going on, right? So I said, okay, wait. This isn't really working that well. And I messed with it a little bit to try to get it to work better. But I said, okay, let's black all that out and just try something different, totally from scratch. So it is possible to make a layer that covers your whole screen, and if you make the layer kind of reversed, like backwards, not really backwards, inside out, whatever, if there's nothing on the layer, it like whoosh, covers everything up, and you can't see anything. But if anywhere there's something on the layer, you can see through, right? So that's great, because then you put the shape of light, and you'll be able to see through wherever the shape is, right? So then you can make your light shapes anything you want, and you can see right through them. The problem is that the default nothing color is gray, not black, and nighttime sucks when it's like light gray. It's much better when it's black. So I had to like do some special tricks and futz around with blend modes, and I'm sure someone online has a tutorial on how to make awesome lighting in Construct 2, but I just had to spend a few hours messing around, but I got it totally working. And there's kind of like a black layer on top of the gray layer that sort of messes around with it. Anyway, here, I'm just going to show it. Okay, I can't tell you how happy I was when I got this all worked out. I have to turn on nighttime. It takes like 25 seconds for nighttime to show up. But over here there's a switch that's attached to a battery and a light. And this was all my electrical stuff that I set up a long time ago, which all works perfectly. I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, isn't that so much better? Check out how awesome that is. I know it's not really that exciting unless you're like a programmer and you're like, wow, look how well that works. Ah, that's so awesome. Oh, and I even have people in my game now. Oh, very good. Anyway, I shouldn't have a flashlight at this point in the game, but I just turned it on so I could show the lighting. Normally you have to build your flashlight. Oh yeah, and it's a wind-up flashlight, so every once in a while you'll hear the guy go like he's winding it up with his hand. Anyway, this is so much better than before. Oh, and let me show you the fire. Fire works really, really well. Oh, and I'm about to... yes! I just triggered a mission because I have the flashlight before I actually built it. Here, let me turn it off. Ooh, check out my firelight! Isn't that awesome? That's so much better than before. It looks kind of silly when there's two fires on the screen at the same time. I can't tell you how psyched I am about that. Because I really wanted nighttime to look awesome. And this way, it doesn't have to make all these black dots come in and out, so it doesn't have to do all this processing or anything. It's just there. Ah, so much better. Oh, I can show you some of the other stuff that's going on in here too. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. I can show you some of it. Oh, okay, I know some stuff I can show that's not super, like, sensitive. I just made it back to daytime. Okay, here's a note. You see there's a note tacked to the building. I can talk to that, and it says, ooh, Jamie's to-do list. Oh, and it's on number 3 right now. That's because I messed it up by already. Anyway, this is one of my to-do lists, you know, make the flashlight that I actually have in my hand already, which I shouldn't have right now, because I'm supposed to make it. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of things on the to-do list, and when you complete something on the to-do list, it does special stuff. And then, like, there's a note over here. I'm not going to tell you what that one does, because, you know, it might be exciting to find out yourself. Well, let's go up to the thing. Hold on. So up here at the top of the mountain is, you know, kind of where you get your stats and stuff. Oh, and just ignore these numbers along the side here. Those are just for tests and stuff. But anyway, one of the first things you're supposed to do, which I'll show it because it's not really, you know, it's like the first thing you're supposed to do. You have to go talk to this rock thing.
Oh, yes!
And see, you like get power and stuff. Anyway, it has special messages for you. And then you can go on these and it gives you fancy messages. And I have to say, it feels a little bit silly making these pictures. Because like here, look, I had to go like this, like, Arr! Oh, and here, look, I had to make a strong pose and make some flexing muscles. But anyway, I think the pictures came out good, and the thing came out pretty good. But when you go on these, then if you have enough experience in this, you know, that particular stat, then your stats go up. Which is pretty standard kind of role-playing game kind of stuff. Ooh, and let's see. I also wanted this to be a game where there's really good morals in it. Like morals that would, not just morals, like principles that you could live your life by. And that's what all the Adventure Builder Club stuff is about. Like, this is all stuff that's usable in real life. And there's lots of things you can do in the game and consequences to things that do apply to real life. Like, hold on. Okay, I had to go power up my stats a little bit so I can do something special. You know, whenever I'm in emergency situations in real life, I often power up to increase my stats. You know, if I need more strength or I need to concentrate really hard or whatever. So I figured you need to be able to power up in my game. Which, I won't tell you how to do it, but it looks kind of like this. There, now I'm like extra super fast and I can like punch a tree down. And there's a counter down here that tells me how long I have left of my superpower. And, but now my health is down to 1 and my energy is all wrecked. So I'm very vulnerable to being destroyed at this point. Which, you know, is kind of like in real life. Oh, and I'm also out of breath. See, I'm breathing, I'm catching my breath now.
Turbo speed!
Now I'm taking a shortcut to somewhere. Alright, so if I go over here to this guy, he's a nice guy and helps me out with stuff. And I'm not going to tell you what he says, because it's, you know, fun stuff that you... blah blah blah, it's part of the game. But if you go in here, you can steal stuff, right? But if you pick something up that's in, you know, some place where you'd be stealing it, a sign comes up and says steal. So, and if you take it out of the building...
Alright, trail.
And wait a second. It says stole something and your stats get all messed up. You lose a bunch of honor. Which is what you'd lose in real life if you stole things. And honor affects various things. It's important to have honor. In the game and in real life. That's why it's in there. Anyway, I got Shannon to play it the other day. Just to test some stuff out. And she played it for like an hour and didn't want to put it down. Because there's now there's all kinds of, I don't know, quests or missions or little things you can do. And you get rewards back. You know, like increase your stats, just like in real life. If you do stuff, you increase your stats. And that's what I do all day. So this is all the Adventure Builder Club stuff that I'm putting in the game is the same stuff I follow all the time in real life. So I can be stronger and smarter and happier and all this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go work on it some more. Yeah, I know, I'm a little hyper. I'm just excited that the lighting thing came out so great. Doesn't the fire look awesome? Ah, so much better than before. Fire. Headlights. Alright, that's better. Oh, what's in here? And yes, there'll still be giant robots blasting things and stuff. It just doesn't start out that way. It starts out kind of normal life. At least normal life for me. And I have a good friend who once told me that he thought video games were an awesome way to teach things. And they're an awesome way to learn, playing video games. So why are there so many video games that teach garbage? Like how to be stupid and break stuff. That's not fun. Okay, it's like fun to break something once or twice, but then you're like, oh, and I have a bunch of broken stuff to clean up. Great. Now, what's the fun in that? It's much more fun in life and productive and helpful, and it just makes the world so much better to be positive and do positive things. So that's what my game's doing. If you do crappy things, the game just gets well, it keeps getting harder, kind of. But when you do good things, it gets easier. Just like in real life. Seriously. It's like that in real life. I know people go around saying, oh no, you gotta stab people in the back to get ahead. And all those people I know who say that, they're up to their eyeballs in debt and going nowhere and unhappy and, oh, it's terrible. Alright.